Please come on up, Miss MK.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you look so beautiful from up here. Wow. Ron and I always sit on the front, so we don't really know who's back there. So this is great. Well, I am interested in very many things, almost everything. And I'm particularly interested in ideas, creativity, and people. So when I thought about what I'd like to speak on today, I'm blending those two ideas in a particular interest of mine, and that is creating meaningful ceremonies. And I take a wide attitude on meaningful ceremonies. When I say good morning to you, if we want to call it that, that's a little ceremony between the two of us. And so my life has evolved into creating ceremonies like weddings and funerals and baptisms or welcoming ceremonies to the world, housewarmings. I like to do that with people where the people are creating the ceremony themselves, and the best ones are not done by me. I'm there to kind of help them with ideas and probably mainly to give them courage to do what they want to do. So in a very brief amount of time, I will speak about particular thoughts about putting together a funeral service or a memorial service. I feel really passionately about this because I've worked with families and children most of my life, and I owned a Montessori school for 22 years, and during that time a lot of grandparents died, and I had a lot of opportunity to see the ways in which families dealt with children in terms of funerals. And trust me, folks, it was bad. Very often kids either are dragged along to something dumb that they don't relate to, they might be afraid of it, the parents are in grief, and that's strange and difficult for them. And so when I'm working with the family to create a memorial service, if I can, I like to encourage everybody to speak. It's a tough sell. You kind of have to play it with elasticity because you can suggest that to them. They'll say, oh, I can't do that. You can say, well, the thing is I can help you do that. And just kind of have to judge how far you can go with that. You might end up, I did a recent one with a young adolescent boy whose great-grandfather had died, and he was damn clear he wasn't going to get up on a stage and say anything. But I got him to light a candle. And to us, that seems like a small thing. But as long as that kid is alive, he is going to remember that when his great-grandfather died, he was part of the service. And that's my goal. So I have wonderful examples of very small, plain, Quaker-type memorial services, such as for my little mama. My mama was old and Irish and fun, and I meant to get this woman's permission before I spoke, and I didn't, but I think I'm okay. If there's anybody here that we might think of who reminds me of my sweet mama, it would be Judy Bishop. I told you she didn't know. So my mama was old and sick, and so we didn't want any kind of flashy service for her, and I got the monks up at Conception to make a little casket for her because she was little. We didn't need a big casket. And when they make the casket, it's just the plain pine and the shavings from the pine line the bottom of the casket. And so for Mama, it was a very simple service. I put the money into hiring the harpist from the Philharmonic. Beyond that, it was a very simple service. When my children's father dropped dead at age 55, and they were in their early 20s, that was a difficult death, unexpected, awful, He was a teacher in Kansas City, a beloved teacher. So school buses of kids came to this service. And sometime we'll talk about that one, because it was raucous and wonderful. And anybody who was there and sees me wants to talk about that service. So my goal is to meet with a family, listen to what they need, give them ideas if they ask for them, and mostly give them the courage to know that it's their person who died. It's the last thing they can do to honor that person. And together, we can figure out the best way to do that. So I appreciate this introduction. I will end by saying that one of the most meaningful services, if you want to go there with me, we did a full immersion baptism in Lake Tapawingo, but don't tell anybody who lives there. The candidate's name was Joseph Patrick Murphy, and we threw him off a dock into the water with everyone present saying whatever very meaningful things they wished to say about Joseph Patrick Murphy. Oasis folks will be glad to know he just didn't take to religion. It just didn't work for him. That might have been because he was our beagle puppy, but you know, you just never know. You give it a try and you never know. And that's my byword in working with a family to create a memorial service. It's going to be perfect no matter what it is. It's going to be wonderful because the people who loved that person did it for them with whatever meaningful poetry or music or anecdotes and humor. So I'm here if you need me, if you want to talk about this further. Don't let somebody die that's close to you, but if that happens, I'm happy to help you with that. Thank you.